month, the month of August, and welcome to a brand new month and week on Afternoon Express Mzansi. I'm Palisa Tembe, and as we kick off Women's Month, we're taking a look at what it is like to give birth in the COVID-19 era. We meet new parents Rafika and Yazid, who will share their emotional experience of a complicated pregnancy and recent birth to twins during 2019's COVID-19. Now, our regular clinical psychologist Tandlovu calls into the loft to break down the challenges and stresses of pregnancy and giving birth during a global pandemic. And the effervescent and energetic singer Dr. Malinga kicks it off to tell us how he and his wife Boitumelo recently welcomed their very own twins during lockdown. Now again, South Africa, happy Women's Month from us here on Afternoon Express. We want to find out from you on social media, if you could have dinner with one game-changing woman, alive or dead, who would it be, ladies in the kitchen? But before we head over to you, once you're pondering on that, we here on Afternoon Express are a family, and one of our proud family members is celebrating a birthday today, and that is, of course, Bradley Brown. Of course, you thought we forgot. We did not forget Bradley. If you do follow us on social media, you will constantly see Bradley Brown's name popping up on our timeline and under our comments. He is forever watching the show, forever sending his love to us, and also encouraging you to watch Afternoon Express. So happy birthday, my boy, from us here and the family. Ladies in the kitchen, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Bali, and a happy Women's Day to you. We are having an amazing time here in the kitchen, and we're going to be standing and doing exactly what women are supposed to be doing, keeping it real all up in this kitchen.
Yes, and I'm super excited because I'm making like a hot vegetarian burger. It's like a quesadilla burger. Ooh. And it's vegetarian and it's vegan and it's delicious.
And it's delicious. That's all you have to remember, South Africa. It's delicious. And to top it all off, we're going to be making a chocolate banoffee pie with clover fresh milk. Ooh. I promise you, you're going to enjoy this. But let's catch up with Dr. Lingas.
For many years, Dr. Malinga, one of the most entertaining performers in South Africa, prayed to be blessed with a set of twins. However, when his prayers were finally answered, national lockdown regulations restricted him from being present at their delivery. He joins us now to discuss all of this and so much more. Dr. Malinga, welcome to the show.
Palisa, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so great. But more than anything, I want to touch base as to how the family got through such a time when, surprise, here the twins, but unfortunately you weren't able to be there. What did you feel like when your prayer was finally answered?
Yes, hey, it's very tough, Mama. We're busy with twins. It was not a surprise, by the way. They told us that we are expecting twins, and guess what? I celebrated till today, but every kid of mine is very, very special. So I have 5 kids now, but I wanted twins, I wanted those boys who wear same clothes and stuff like that. Maybe they can join another twins.
That's such a cute fantasy. I have one of my own. When twins run in the family, I think a lot of people are praying either, please may it be me, or some are saying, please may it not be me. So you and I, Doc, we're on the same page there. So then how did the national lockdown affect your family's happiness, especially with you not being able to be present with your wife on the delivery of those beautiful twins?
I wanted to take my wife and my kids to short left, just take them to short left, and so that they can enjoy the benefit of birth, the benefit of birth. So I just wanted to thank her for giving me such beautiful kids. But guess what? We can't go anywhere. We can't go to movies. We can't go to picnics. When you go into a picnic, you'll find a corona standing there and say, just sit down and then you'll see flames. We're just staying at home, relaxing. But at the end of the day, we know that we love each other. We just bond, and then we celebrate life. Yes.
I think that is such a perfect push gift. Just an opportunity to experience Mzansi. So I hope that you're still going to take wifey as soon as lockdown restrictions have been lifted.
Yes, definitely, yes.
Doctor, as a family man, a loving father and devoted husband, what values would you like your sons to carry on from your legacy with regards to respecting women, as it is August, Women's Month? And how would you then instill confidence in your daughter to become self-standing women?
What I can say is that I'm not planning to show them, to tell them about women's faith or whatever. I'm just showing them I'm also showing my boys how to take care of a woman by loving their mother, by showing to their mother, you know, just me saying, baby, I love you. You know, they practice love while they're growing. So it's not something that you must tell your boy and say, my boy, hey, you must do this. And then what if you are not doing those things? He or she will ask you, Daddy, why aren't you doing them? Do you understand? So me, I'm just an example to my kids that you must take care of your beloved ones, you know, taking care of my wife every day. When I go outside, I'll say to my wife to show that the flame is still there. You know, I will tell my wife that I love her just in front of my kids, and then they will know that this is love that is being practiced here.
Now, Dr. Malinga, please may you tell us a little bit about how COVID-19 has affected your career?
You know, because of some will say, you know, some people, I don't want to say celebrities, they will say, no, me, I'm doing well, no, nothing wrong. But guess what? Immediately when you don't accept that there's a problem, that means you calling on depression. Do you understand? You have to talk to other people and say, yo, I'm affected, you know, I'm affected now, I need help, you know, like it's training us, you know, there's no income for 4 months now. Just imagine we became normal people who are not working. You know, we are on the stage of not working. So it's very, very tough. We pray to God, not to the government, because the government is not the one that is causing this problem. So we pray to God that God help us to get the vaccine or the cure of whatever is happening. Because of when there's no movement, that means there's no trade. Because we are trading. That because of we need each other. I need you to give you something so that you can give me money. I need to save for you so that you become happy and you pay me. Do you understand? So it's just it's very tough. I can tell you, I will never lie and say I'm doing well. Hey, I'm doing well. But guess what? As a person, you know, I grew up with this poverty. So guess what? I can juggle around and say, okay, let me plow something at my house. I don't care if it's an estate or whatever. I will plow my spinach, I will plow my tomato, I will plow my whatever thing so I can eat with my kids, something like that, yes.
Dr. Malinga, you might not be a medical doctor, but you certainly are a major influence in this country. What words do you have for our South African audiences who are watching you right now that are faced with dark and difficult times?
Difficult times will pass. You don't pass with difficult times. Be the example of life. You know, you have to take care of yourself. If they say to you, wear a mask, they say wear a mask, that means you must wear a mask and protect yourself because of your body is a temple. You know what is a temple? In a temple they preach. They say whatever. Preaching is walking, is taking your dreams, is flying. If you are driving, you are preaching. Do you understand? So protect your body, protect your temple, and take care of yourself and your loved ones. And guess what? We are going somewhere. We will survive no matter what. After lockdown,
After lockdown, After lockdown, Thank you so much, Dr. Malinga. Please may you send our love to your wife, to your family and your children. We definitely want to see those pics of the baby twins growing strong there, Ekaya. Goodbye.
Thank you. Let me bolala them Pogani.
Absolutely. Now there you have it, South Africa, straight from the mouth of Dr. Malinga himself. Although this is tough for all people everywhere, stay positive and keep safe and things will get better.
Congrats on your twins, Malinga. Palisa, I absolutely love his music. I hope he releases a single soon.
I also release, and I love to hear that he's married to someone who shares your same name, Boitumelo.
Joy.
Oh, I love it. Happiness, joy is what it's all about this Women's Month. Now, ladies, on social media, we have been trying to find out who people would want to have dinner with, dead or alive. And Umpo here says Whitney Houston. She seems like such a fascinating soul, gone too soon. Let's keep those comments coming, South Africa, because we definitely want to celebrate all of our women. Now, since 1991, the Fry's Food Family company has offered us environmentally conscious and delicious meat-free options. Coming up, we show you our mouth-watering fries-inspired quesadilla burger. Yummy!
Express yourself. You only have one skin. Nourish it and wear it bravely.
Back to Afternoon Express. Now, when Fry's Food was started by Wally Fry in 1991, the idea of meat-free Monday every week seemed beyond impossible. Thankfully, in 2020, we're all about eating more consciously, and considering both our bodies and the environment has become a standard versus a dream. On our menu today is some meat-free Mexican magic, the Fry's Quesadilla Burger, inspired by Eleanor Douglas Mayer, journalist and lifestyle blogger. She had to go beyond the impossible when her young son decided that he was going to stop eating meat, which is why she is crazy about the Fry's Big Fry Burger. Ladies, this sounds delicious.
It is, and exactly like her child, I decided not to eat meat since last December. So that is from Eleanor. I'm doing the same.
Let's check out Eleanor and her son.
Hi, my name is Eleanor Douglas Mayers. I am a freelance journalist and event planner from Nelson Mandela Bay in the Eastern Cape. I'm also a blogger where I feature a lot of really quick and easy plant-based meals, and that is where the Big Fry Burger comes in. If you check out the recipe book, you'll see that I'm attached to this really, really cool quesadilla burger, which turns a traditional burger on its head by using a tortilla instead of a bun. It uses salsa and avo instead of relish, and it is really, really good. If you are into Mexican food like I am, and you like something that's fresh, zesty, and delicious, this is really for you. And because often veggie patties are not worth the calories in the bun, if I'm honest. But this is good, and dare I say meaty? But yeah, it is really good, and I hope you try it out.
Welcome, Port Elizabeth. She's from Port Elizabeth, my city, the friendly city. And isn't she amazing?
She is.
And her son.
I mean, the fact that he decided that he wants to, like, that's inspiring.
Isn't that amazing? And I agree with her. After I also decided not to eat meat, I've discovered my big fry burgers, and this, as I told you, stacked in my fridge. Stacked in my freezer, because you need to defrost it before you cook it.
Yes.
But these are amazing. They've got 20 grams of protein per patty.
I can't get used to that. The thought that I don't need to worry about getting meat product for me to get the protein, that right there is quite...
Isn't it amazing?
It is.
And naturally cholesterol free as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if people don't know, if something is cholesterol free, it means it's good for your heart, it's good for your body, so it's good for your arteries. That there is great.
Not clogging up those arteries, sister. So we are making a quesadilla burger.
Okay.
I sort of made a double one.
I
want double patties, sister. I'm not going to go just for a single burger. And then the difference between a tortilla and a quesadilla, you know that.
Tell us. Okay. Tell South Africa.
A tortilla is just a wrap, any wrap. This is a small wrap. So I took the big wraps and I cut them just smaller to make like a burger quesadilla topping and underneath. But a quesadilla is when you put cheese on here and you melt it and you normally close it, and then it's a quesadilla. But the reason is because you are going to make our patty, our little wraps. So you're going to fry them there. Just tell the people what you're going to do.
So I'm basically doing the quesadilla part of it by putting the cheese between the two layers, right?
No, you're going to put it on, and then you're going to put the cheese on top.
Okay, so I'm just going to do, you're going to tell me step by step exactly what you want me to do.
And then you're going to put the cheese, remember it's vegan cheese.
Yes.
So it's different than normal cheese. It's not as, it also melts, but just a little bit.
Yeah, but at least it's still good for you. So that's one thing we're happy about. So I'm going to let these just toast up on the sides.
You can add some cheese on top of it now, really. You need to put it on now, sister.
Okay, all right, cool. So I'm just going to put it on and then I'll break it up with my fork.
Break it up with your fork.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. So while she's doing that, I'm going to carry on with the rest of the quesadilla. I'm going to use some avo. And to get the avo pip out, I'm sure the people know this, you just whack it like this and you twist it. And you get it out.
Simple.
Yeah, simple. And to get the avo out, especially these Hass avos, you just take a spoon and you actually scoop the whole thing out. You don't have to cut.
Simple.
Cut.
Very simple.
Very simple. And look at these burgers already. Look how beautiful they are.
They already look like a meat. If you were to take this and feed it to someone who knows no better, they would think it's a meat.
I did it to my hubby, and he couldn't believe it, that it actually tastes like meat, and it's actually got that texture as well inside your mouth of meat.
That's the one thing that basically just blew me away. The fact that it's got texture. Because a lot of times when you're having meatless burgers, they taste like mush. This doesn't. It's literally got that texture. It's got that flavor. It is divine. And guys, make sure you get yourself onto the website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and get your hands on this recipe.
See how beautiful this is. Look at the color on this. I just want the camera to look at it. It just looks like a real burger. It is just delicious. And what's also nice is the packaging are completely environmental friendly.
That's interesting.
So you know that this package is not going to lie in the sea and cause like a plastic island or something. It's good for the environment. It's good for us.
So everything about the meal we're making today is good for you. The food, the packaging of the food, the way we're making the food, the people making the food.
It's Women's Month. We're good. We're good. We're brilliant. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm first going to put some salsa on here. There's a hot salsa. This is for Pali because this is like really hot salsa. I'm even going to add some more jalapenos.
Are you
We
even
are
gonna-
Mexican, baby.
I doubt Pali's gonna have taste buds after that. Because like that's hectic.
And I'm going to cut up some lettuce because you need that crush and fat, like that freshness of the lettuce. And then I'm going to add this baby on top of there.
Ladies, I heard my name and I had to come through and see what's going on in the kitchen. Ladies, this looks delicious. And Tumi, challenge accepted. Let's see if my taste buds really will burn off, because this Mexican magic, of course, being helped by this big fry burger, looks incredible.
Look at that. Pali, what do you think of that?
You know, ladies, right now I've got my shades on. I am on a beach somewhere in Mexico, ready to enjoy my delicious fries burger. Thank you, ladies. Now,
pleasure.
looking at those juicy burgers and listening to them sizzle has got me all kinds of excited to take on Meat Free Monday. A massive thank you to Eleanor Douglas Mayer and Fryers for showing us just how quickly, easily, and deliciously we can enjoy a plant-based meal without sacrificing any eating pleasure. To get your hands on this and many more meat-free recipes, head over to fryersfamilyfood.com to download the free copy of the Beyond the Impossible cookbook. Yummy, ladies.
Yummy. This is so delicious.
Yummy, yummy in my tummy, ladies. Bravo to that. More fire, more incredibleness in the kitchen. But we also had to touch base with you guys on social media, of course, finding out it being the month of August, Women's Month. Which woman would you love to have dinner with, dead or alive? So we've got a viewer here who decided to shout out and Ruth says definitely Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Oh, may her soul rest in peace, ladies. I love that option.
I also think that option is brilliant. I think a lot of us would love to have it at our table.
How about having one Mum Winnie and, of course, her daughter Uzinzi side by side? Ladies, that is absolutely magic. I love that.
I can't even imagine that, just the thought of the two powerhouses.
Together.
That's brilliant. Okay, ladies, so moving on to the conversation that we're having today, finding out that you were pregnant at the beginning of the year versus what it's like being pregnant now are realities that are worlds apart. Coming up, Rafika and Yazid, who are new parents to twin girls, share their roller coaster experience of pregnancy and birth during the COVID-19 pandemic. Everyone in the world is worried right now. We're worried about our collective well-being, and of course, we're worried about ourselves and our own unique circumstances. Pregnant mothers giving birth during COVID-19 related lockdowns face uncertainty and potentially life-threatening challenges. We're joined today by Rafika and her husband Yazid, who recently experienced childbirth during lockdown. Welcome to The Loft, you two.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Rafika, share your story of how you found out that you were pregnant with your beautiful twins.
So we got married in December, December 2019. And we discussed that we wanted children immediately. And I found out in January that I was pregnant. And then a couple of months later, then I found out that I'm expecting twins.
As a father, hearing the news that you're not only expecting one little bundle of joy, but you've doubled up on the joy.
Yeah, definitely. It was a shock. We also didn't plan on having it so soon. I mean, we didn't take measures to prevent it because we decided that we're going to start right away, but it was so soon. And then I think the first checkup we determined it was a positive pregnancy. And then the second checkup, she actually went to the doctor because she was feeling pains, and then all of a sudden, all the symptoms stopped.
So that I actually could miscarriage.
Wow.
Yeah, so worriedly we went to the doctor, and then, we expected the worst, but then we doubled up.
I love that. You took something that could have been a very sad situation, but it still decided to become a blessing at the end. Now, speaking about that fear and uncertainty, I mean, the coronavirus impacted your lives in so many ways. Please may you share some of the extra pressures that you were being faced with?
Yeah, look, it was, it's the small things that are difficult. Rafika's craving she had during lockdown, and, because lockdown started, she craved for things that we couldn't get, and it was difficult because it was a constant struggle. I work in my industry where I work. I didn't have lockdown, so I kept working, and then I had to always be, it was very difficult to always stay sanitized and careful. And obviously, because your wife is pregnant at home, you're extra cautious. And we had a big scare as well. One of my colleagues was also tested positive, and then we actually went into quarantine at one stage where I went for the test, and while we waited for the test, we had to stay in separate rooms. And as you can imagine, that's very difficult because Rafika had a tough time in the beginning where she had trouble moving, and, simple things like when she drops stuff, she having to pick it up to bend over. And if you know Rafika, she's quite clumsy, so she drops stuff all the time. So, yeah, and then having me in the house but not being able to help her, it was really difficult.
Now, along with the pregnancy, I know you guys did experience, unfortunately, a very difficult pregnancy. But Yazid and Rafika, I can also imagine the ideal birthing plan you had for your twins. Can you share that with us?
Look, ideally, Rafika was very nervous. And then, so our ideal plan was to have like a planned birth. So, look, but this is at the stage where before we even knew that we are going to have twins. So, we wanted a planned birth, which is normally a cesarean, and then, just while we have everything prepared and we come home and the baby's there, the nursery's ready and everything. And obviously our family, yeah. So in reality, we had none of that. The babies came 3 months early. Instead of a cesarean, she had natural birth, which was a shock. And yeah, look, and I felt completely on the outside because I wasn't there for anything. Currently, I haven't seen them in person, I haven't seen my daughters yet.
Something that should have been something that you celebrated and that you're able to be there and call Ogogo and Omalume, the extended family, to be involved in. Rafika had to be in that situation alone. And even to this day, I can't believe that you haven't met your darling twins yet. I mean, and being under the public healthcare system. What was that experience like, Rafika, on a daily basis? And were you feeling taken care of?
It wasn't nice. It wasn't a nice experience at all. I can remember crying every single night. I was like, Yazid, can I please come home? I want to come home. Then Yazid would tell me, Rafika, you need to be strong. You need to be strong for the children. And I think what made it worse was I wasn't the only one that was going through the whole not seeing their family. I've seen people cry themselves to sleep. There were people that were in the hospital for 2 months. I was only in hospital for like 3 days, 4 days. And the whole sleeping with a mask. When I needed to shower, I needed to take my sanitizer with me. I was scared to touch the taps. I was scared to touch anything so that I don't get sick.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a nice experience at all.
Yazid, what has it been like for you since Rafika went into labor and has had the twins?
Look, it's been very emotional, to be honest. You know, we from 27th week when we found out that it's a difficult pregnancy, where the doctors and on a few occasions told us that the babies weren't going to make it. But yeah, it was very stressful. Obviously, giving birth to both babies and them being healthy was, to be honest, a shock. But based on everything we've heard thus far, everything the doctors have told us, you know, it was a shock. And obviously, it was our prayers were answered, you know. So yeah, I'm very happy to have them healthy, and you know. It was a surprise for them to come so early, but we were happy that they did because, you know, it was a constant state of fear and panic, and every pain she had felt like, you know, this is it. And every time she doesn't feel the baby's kicking for a long time, it's like, yes, something's wrong. And, you know, so it was living in constant fear. That stage. So at least now, while they're out, they're monitored by the doctors and the nurses in Nike. You know, it's a little bit of a relief. It's just very difficult for me. You know, I know physically that I have 2 babies in the hospital, but I haven't seen them. I haven't felt them. You know, and they obviously haven't. Like Rafika gets to pick them up and, you know, can't get with them.
Yeah.
But they haven't seen or heard their father, which is, it's a bit sad.
It is. It's very devastating. I have to ask you, within this moment, Yazid, when those twins are finally home and finally in your arms, what are you most looking forward to doing?
I don't know. Honestly, I just want him at this stage to come home, and I'll probably end up sitting up with him all night, trying to figure out I'm going to hold both of them at the same time. So, yeah.
Finally, to you two, any advice and tips do you have for expecting moms and parents during this time?
Stay connected with family and friends, because even though it's via phone call, via video call, it really helps a lot to speak to people and find ways that can help you cope, because it is really difficult. Seeing that you can't see your family, and like I can remember, yes, he constantly would tell me, you need to be strong, but I cried because I just felt like I needed to cry. I just needed to get all my emotions out, and that actually does make you stronger in a way.
I always think of it as sanitizing myself and cleansing myself from the inside out, getting all those tears out, getting everything out. It's very therapeutic on its own. And for yourself, Yazid, for the fathers out there who can't wait to deliver their brand new babies, but unfortunately might not be able to.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just to stay positive, you know. Even when things do get difficult, most of the time, you know, you have a positive outcome. The babies are a lot more resilient and stronger than you think. So, yeah, just stay positive and, you know, have faith.
Absolutely. Said like true parents, motivational parents and inspiring parents on this Monday. Thank you so much to Rafika and Yazid for joining us on Afternoon Express and sharing the journey to welcoming the twins onto this earth. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Head over to our social media platform, South Africa, please, if you do identify with this story. If you or a family member are expecting a young one, what are you most looking forward to sharing with them as soon as they come home? Share that hashtag Afternoon Express.
Sure, I'm so sorry for them. And Yazid, from us, we really hope you can hold your baby soon. And send us a pic, please. We want a pic of you and the babies. Pali?
How deliciously cute would those pictures be? I can just imagine those little little babies. Okay, let me just get out of my fields and head over to social media where we have asked you, dead or alive, any woman this Women's Month you could sit down and have dinner with. Ladies, on your side?
Definitely Madonna. I'm a material girl in the material world.
That is someone who is a hustler, a go-getter, and a superstar, in fact. I would love to sit down with her too.
Yeah.
So heading over to social media, we've got someone here who said, Prof. Thuli Madonsela, she represents a balance between gentleness, strength, and power. Beautiful. Now heading over to the rest of the show, I mean, looking and reflecting at the journey that Rafika and Yazid have traveled together. Coming up, our regular clinical psychologist, Ndlovu, shares her expertise on how expectant mothers and families can tackle the unique challenges brought by this global pandemic.
Express yourself.
Pregnancy is a special time full of excitement and anticipation. But for expecting moms facing the outbreak of the coronavirus disease, fear, anxiety, and uncertainty are clouding this otherwise happy time. We chat to clinical psychologist Ndlovu on how expecting moms can manage their anxiety during this time. Welcome back to The Loft, Ta.
Thank you for having me back.
Sta, a ma who is going to give birth during a global pandemic, what feelings are they all to feel during this time?
So having a baby under normal circumstances can be very stressful, with your body going through several changes and embodying the new role of being a new parent. It's all life-changing events that can definitely evoke feelings of anxiety. So feeling anxious and somewhat nervous is a normal response. During a pandemic, stress levels are heightened given the uncertainty with the pandemic or the virus. So expectant moms could therefore be experiencing feelings such as fear, worry, and just a sense of being robbed of fully experiencing the whole experience of being pregnant or giving birth.
What are some of the ways to manage anxiety in pregnancy during a pandemic?
I think what's important, firstly, is to recognize that it is normal. It's normal to feel anxiety. It's normal to feel like you want to have things under control and want to overly plan and you want to overly think the situation. Humans naturally want to feel in control of certain things. So we look for answers and we try to predict what could happen. And that's just our brain's way of trying to help us to feel safer. Mm-hmm. But focusing excessively on these thoughts can be unhelpful and can really cause emotional distress.
We saw with Urafika and Yazid here, they had their ideal birthing plan. They had set out in place, who's going to be there, how they were going to be there, to make sure that everything went along accordingly. But here it was turned upside down. I mean, how then does one adjust?
We know that in a lot of cultures, childbirth and pregnancy is really a family affair, and the pandemic has certainly presented limitations for the family fully experiencing the process together. So even though you have planned certain things, you have really made sure that certain things are in place and you've put in place necessary precautions, it can still be very, very difficult for you to sort of adjust and take on the new role and be able to fully function in that new role, especially if you're doing it on your own or you are unable to access support from extended family members and other people who may have ordinarily been available and ready to assist you during this process.
Many mothers can experience pre- and postnatal depression, and a global pandemic can certainly exacerbate their symptoms, making them feel even more isolated. What can they do to protect their mental health?
So it may really be difficult to make sense of how you're feeling, because you may be feeling many things. You may be feeling joy that you have a new baby and it is a joyous time for the family, but you may also be feeling fear because of the pandemic. You may be feeling fearful that you may contract the virus or that your baby's health may be jeopardized. And baby blues, which is feelings of being irritable, sad, all of the time, fluctuating moods, is common amongst new moms. And as you say, some moms experience pre or postnatal depression. It's definitely different from baby blues. And postnatal depression is much long lasting and more pervasive and may need you to seek out psychological intervention. But it's really important that as you're experiencing these many emotions and feelings during this time, is that you be kind to yourself, that you allow yourself time to adjust to the new role. And if you are feeling that the symptoms are overwhelming and they are persisting for much longer than just a couple of weeks, do seek out professional assistance.
Wow. It's normal to have the support of families once the baby comes home, but due to this pandemic, how can families still show their support for moms and baby?
So postpartum support is very, very important. And families can still help the new mom during this time by simply checking in, asking her how she feels, making sure that she has a space or a platform to express her emotions, help her taking care of the baby in whatever way that they are able to help. Also making use of technology to connect with other family members or friends that aren't very close to her. It could also be quite thoughtful to send care packages, really anything that can make her experience just a little bit less stressful.
That sounds key here. Just stepping out of yourself and not only thinking about how you're keeping up, but thinking how your neighbor or those expecting moms are keeping up and keeping safe during this time. What about expecting single moms to be? How can they gain the support that they need when social distancing needs to be practiced?
So this time has really forced us to be a bit creative in the way in which we do things. So it is important that single moms may still seek out help, perhaps virtual assistance where people can send care packages to them, can send baby essentials, can be able to support them even though they are away from them. It is still important that they seek out that help and that they are getting the assistance that they may need during this time.
What other tips and advice do you have for expecting moms to help ensure that their pregnancy is still a happy time even though we're experiencing a pandemic?
I think it's important just to remember that this is a joyful time. It is a time that they've been expecting, that they've been anticipating for quite a while, 9 months of pregnancy, just thinking about what joy it will bring to have the baby. So just remember that while we are going through a lot of chaos, it is still okay to be happy about the new baby. It is still okay to be happy about what's happening in the family. A lot of people may experience guilt about being happy when other people are experiencing so much more. So it is important to remember this is a joyful time and it's okay to be happy. Also, moms need to pay attention to their own needs. Moms usually take a lot of care of the children and everyone else and just neglect themselves. So it's important to take care of yourselves as a new mom and also reach out whenever you are feeling overwhelmed.
Thank you so much for that advice, those tips, and to help us understand what is going on mentally with expecting moms and parents generally within the family structure. Thank you so much, Thandlovu. Goodbye.
Bye.
That was clinical psychologist Thandlovu reminding us that these feelings of anxiety, fear and nervousness, if you are a mom-to-be during a pandemic, is normal. But as a family unit, let's gather together and support the moms-to-be and baby.
Yes, let's support the moms and the babies and everyone that's going through this pandemic. Palisa, thank you for bringing Thandlovu onto the show because from a professional opinion, we needed to hear that.
Seeing her is always just such a pleasure and hearing from her just builds me so much from inside. But ladies, talking about being built from the inside, please build my stomach.
Yes.
What are we looking forward to after the break?
We are making a chocolate banoffee pie. Normally it's just toffee and banana and whatever, but we're adding a bit of chocolate into that.
Yummy.
Okay, yummy indeed. All of that coming up.
Express yourself.
Nothing beats the long-lasting freshness and quality taste of Clover fresh milk. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back, South Africa, and thank you for joining us yet again. Mondays will never be the same again, with the only blue thing about Mondays being the blue Clover packaging. Our fresh milk chocolate banoffee pie is here to prove exactly that.
And it's my, you know, caramel and me. We like marry.
I know you and caramel guys. You and caramel is like me and recipes. So if you want to get our recipes, go on to afternoonexpress.co.za to find out exactly how we're doing this. So we're going to be showing people how to make a chocolate banoffee pie.
Yes.
Normally, banoffee pie is just toffee, and basically, let me explain. Banoffee means it's bananas and toffee inside this tart. But in our, because we like to change things up in the Afternoon Express kitchen, we've added some chocolate.
I love that.
To start it off,
Creative.
I'm going to be making the base of it, but we're using, because we're no longer about those Blue Mondays, guys, we're going to be using our Clover fresh milk for the caramel. Normally, you'd use cream for that, but we want to show you exactly how versatile this ingredient is. So you're going to be showing us how to make the caramel for that. But before you do, I'm going to start with the base. And for the base, over here, I've just got some digestive biscuits that I've just ground up. And if at all you don't have a blender or anything like that, you're more than welcome to just take a roller and actually just put the stuff into a Ziploc bag and then fight and get all the stresses out and get all the misery out and all the lockdown out of your system and just knock it out. And then basically it's going to give you this nice sandy texture. You go in with some melted butter, put that into your tart.
Can I put any sugar in there?
No,
so
no
it's
sugar.
just a biscuit.
Yes,
Great.
because the biscuits already have the sweetness, and because of the caramel, we don't want to give you guys a sugar overload. So once we've done that, I just go into my tart pan and I go in with the crumbs, and all you do is you're going to try and press this down and make sure it forms a nice thick crust.
It needs like a nice biscuity base.
Yes,
it does need that.
Yeah.
For the caramel sweetness, and it needs that crunch
Correct.
with it. Yeah.
And you don't want it to be too hard and so forth.
Yeah.
That's why we're only using just a little bit of the butter, because we still want it to be able to easily to cut and so forth. And then after that, you've shown us the caramel here. So you've just melted some sugar.
So I've just melted some sugar. So I've just added sugar in my pan.
Okay.
And then you mustn't fiddle around with it too much, otherwise it crystallizes. So you can see it's now in an amber state, like an amber color. And you don't want it to go too dark, otherwise the caramel is going to be like a bittery taste. And then we're going to take our fabulous blue bottle milk, Clover fresh milk. We're going to add that. And I'm just going to add a little bit to this. And you know, it lasts 18 days in your fridge.
18 days on your shelf, South Africa. I'm not sure if you heard that. And I've been for a driver's test. I've written my exams. I've done all of that. But never in one sitting did I ever take 55 quality tests for anything. But this milk has.
I think
did
the guys with driver's license do that, like 55 quality tests?
None of that. So basically, once this is thickened and once you've cooked that, it's going to be a nice thick texture like this. And this is now the second part of our tart or our banoffee pie. And then I'm just going to go in. Obviously, you're going to put this into the oven, bake it for like 7 to 10 minutes, just on a low heat, because the whole idea is just for the butter to melt and for everything to basically mellow together. And so this thick banoffee part with the Clover fresh milk is basically what we're going to have now. We have this lovely layer, which you love.
I know, because I took the pan that was in. I said, I'm going to take this pan home and lick it out.
She did, South Africa. She's not lying. She took a whole pan. You basically almost licked it off of the...
I know.
Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to layer the banoffee part of it, the banana part of it, onto our toffee here. And I'm just going to do a couple of layers here. So it is quite sweet. So if you've got a sweet tooth, this is perfect for you. If you don't have a sweet tooth, find a different dessert.
This is definitely for me. And if you guys want the recipe, go to afternoonexpress.co.za.
Yeah. And then basically the banoffee pie, to the end of it, or the last part of it, is the cream. It's normally topped with some cream and so forth. So what I've done is, this is where the chocolate part comes in. We're going to put some cocoa powder into our cream.
Oh, that's what you've done with the chocolate.
Yes. So half of it is going to be just normal cream. That's been whipped nicely. Yes. And then the other part is going to have some of our cocoa powder, and all we do here is just fold this together.
And you can also probably put like chocolate chips in there and just go wild with it. I would put like white chocolate in there.
You are hearing this, South Africa. She would do a whole lot of things.
To that banoffee pie. And I'm going to devour that banoffee pie whenever you go home tonight.
Palisa, I know you're no longer doing meat, but I don't know if your sweet tooth is ready for this dessert. But basically, you just top this up now with our cream. We start with the chocolate.
What are you doing to me, sister? What are you doing to me? You're killing me.
And all you do now is just work your magic and fold these all together and just make a nice mixture of bananas and toffee and cream. Oh, my word. And there you go. Now, that's one way to freshen up your Mondays. And if you want this recipe, go on to afternoonexpress.co.za and make sure you get your hands on this amazing recipe. Pali, please come taste this recipe. Let me know what you think.
Now, Polly, you're not going to taste. It's mine. That whole thing is mine.
You know what, ladies? I don't have much of a sweet tooth at all, so I'm happily will donate it to you, Anele, but just give me a slice. You know, I can't give you absolutely anything. Just give me a slice and then we're good.
Just a little bit.
A small sliver for you.
Just a little bit.
Small sliver.
So, ladies, you know, on social media, we have been finding out if people who they would be having dinner with, dead or alive. And can I put my little suggestion in the box?
Yes, please.
I would love to sit down with Beyonce. Now, hear me out. I'm not really a Beyonce fan like that. But what she's doing for the culture with the incredible Black is King movement and the movie that everyone was celebrating, she had our very own Nandi Madita starring as Nala. I mean, mind-blowing. I almost want to have a sip of that just to quench my thirst.
I'm going to quench
because
my
it's
thirst.
just absolute fire to see the work that powerful women are doing across the board, whether it's here in South Africa as Nandi and the other ladies that helped out on that project, like Moonchild, Museswa, you know, the list does go on. And also seeing them collaborate with powerhouses like Beyonce.
Yes, I actually personally love Remy Trene.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know her, and I think she's my power woman for me. I love her.
I do love her too. We can keep going with this conversation, but join us again tomorrow, Mzansi, as we go on a fascinating journey with our inspiring guests, Frank Oji and Tandy Dry. Until then, good night, stay safe, and happy eating, Mzansi. Nothing beats the long-lasting freshness and quality taste of Clover Fresh Milk. Made with love by Clover.
Afternoon Express. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.